Want to talk about money? Want to talk about Saint C, who's in the building, the new movement, DJ Drewski. Boston is Boston, right?
Yes, sir.
Born and raised.
Yeah, right outside of there, actually. Really, southern New Hampshire. So,
Mm.
Nashville, New Hampshire is like 30 minutes outside of Boston. Yeah.
Growing up,
hmm
little kid, little Saint C. What were you listening to? Like, being from Massachusetts. What was going on? What's the vibe like?
Yeah. So when you're a little kid and it's you're mostly getting influenced by what your parents are playing and stuff. It's a lot of rock music for me. My mom listened to a lot of R&B.
Mm.
She listened to some hip hop too. It'd be like Outkast and whatnot. Stuff that's on the radio a lot.
Right.
Usher. You know, But I was listening to, hearing a lot of like Aerosmith, Ozzy Osbourne, that type of stuff. But as I got a little older, started to, develop my own taste and figure out what I liked, being from the Boston area, that's New York hip hop, so, I really got into it listening to all of it, Jay-Z, Mobb Deep. The biggest inspiration for me from the get, there was just something that connected to me from Nas. I think, I just I always wondered about there's got to be more to the world, what's going
Right.
on, and now kind of dive into that a little bit. He spit the knowledge, so that
When
was always
when you
something good.
hear an artist like 21 Savage who says Nas is not relevant, I don't know if you've seen that, but there was like an interview
Uh,
in it. How do you feel about that? Being a young
yeah,
artist, just being a young person and a fan of
um,
Nas.
yeah. I don't know. I guess it depends on the context he's saying it in. Maybe he's saying these days he's not as relevant. But he'll always be relevant in my opinion.
Right.
You know, he's a forefather.
I agree. So you're growing up, young Saint C. At what point were you like, all right, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be an artist.
Exactly. Yeah. So just being little, I always had that creative mind. I remember just constantly thinking of things creatively, whether it's like a little kid and almost like not even noticing it, but I'm imagining like a movie in my head that I
Right,
want to
right.
make one day, or like a song and shit. And then really it's funny, like my grandparents were watching me one time. I was hella young, like 12 or some shit, and I remember I was listening to Marvin Gaye and Chardonnay by Kanye and Big Sean.
Mm.
And I just wanted to make that song so bad. I was vibing to that shit so hard
Right.
that I'm like, I got to make my own song like this. So I started looking into the equipment and everything. Asked for it for Christmas. Didn't end up getting it, but then a little bit later, I had a little money and I ended up going to Best Buy, getting a little microphone, started recording my own shit, and that was at the beginning when I was in eighth grade in 2011.
So
So
you started basically eighth grade
yeah,
recording yourself.
yeah.
Did you like YouTube everything to learn how to?
Yeah, so I did a little bit of research myself. It's like especially at that young age, it's something I think throughout my time in music I've learned is that there's always a learning curve, and sometimes I
Mhm.
just want to skip the learning curve so bad. So especially when I was young, it was like it took me a while to actually learn how to mix because first of all I started on Audacity,
Okay.
and yeah, so it's like just realizing like there's no way around this. You gotta really learn. But at first, I'm just trying to just mess with things and figure it
Of
out.
course, you just want to hear
So
yourself back on the track. So it's like,
yeah, so a lot of that stuff sounded definitely, the mix was terrible.
so at what point did you start making beats? Because you told me, yo, I produce a lot of my own records too.
Yeah.
So was that first, or did the rapping
No,
first and then?
I that was another thing. It was like I wanted to make beats and I would get into it a little bit and then back out, but I really started making beats February 2019.
Okay.
Because I got the Arturia Key Lab 49 right around then, and yeah, once I got that thing, I was rolling.
You're like, yo, I'm gonna just make my own beats.
hmm
I know what I want. I know what I like.
Yeah, and the sound definitely developed from there. But back, before when I was putting out a lot of stuff, 2016, 2017,
Hmm.
I was very into boom bap rap. That was what I was putting out at that point.
You wanted to show your bars.
Oh yeah, and I still definitely got those bars and tried to mix it into the
Right,
shit.
right.
But I mean, I think now I just am better at like making a good record. You know what I mean? As
Because
opposed to
now, whatever, 6 years later, you have a project out, Greed Over Grief.
yes, greed over grief.
What does that mean for someone like me who's like, okay, I get it, but what does that mean, greed over grief?
Well, it's a in the society we're in, it's kind of like to me, it just means nothing's gonna be given to you, and if you sit back and wait for something, you're gonna end up grieving in the end. You're gonna wish you did it. You're gonna be
Mm.
stuck at the bottom, with everybody else that didn't go out and get it for themselves. So I guess it's like the greed aspect is that I'm not waiting for nothing anymore. I'm gonna
Right.
be greedy. I'm gonna get out there and take it.
And when you say greedy, is like for yourself, like,
Yeah,
and in a
yeah,
more positive way, right? Not like on some
yeah.
scam
No,
people and
no. Yeah. See, I definitely am. I want to be, like the people that I look up to,
right.
specifically, Nas, Joey Badass. I think those are the type of people that, they have a message and they want to always give back to where they're from and to
Hmm.
everybody that they can. So,
What would your message be? Is it just follow your dreams, or is it a little more deeper than that?
um, I would say that my message right now is definitely, to, inspire yourself. It's like the motivation. I know a lot of people that are, definitely stuck in a low energy state. I feel like being coming from where I'm from,
Hmm.
and it's just the speculation of somebody that wants more. It's like it's just like ridiculous to a lot of people out there.
Right.
So I would say that my message is go out there and take it, and to be your own inspiration, your own motivation. Obviously like have your idols and everything,
Hmm.
and emulate them, but at the end of the day, they're not there with you. They're not gonna do anything for you, most likely.
Right.
You got to do it for yourself, and so I think a lot of the motivation comes from yourself when you just get up and get going. Like if you sit around waiting for something to motivate you, it's never
Never
gonna
gonna
come.
happen. Do you find that you get more love outside of where you're from than where you're from? Because a lot of artists say that. It's like, yo, sometimes I gotta
Yeah.
go elsewhere to get love or
Mm.
recognition. Is it that the same type of feeling for you? Because I'm sure where you're from, it's a small town, it's a small hood. Is, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
there's not too many people that grow out of there.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's always gonna be haters. I definitely had haters at first, but when I was first putting stuff out, 2016 to 2018, I did have a lot of love where I was from, and a lot of people that came out and supported at the shows and stuff, and I appreciate that to this day. But I was out of the game for a little bit. I had a kid in 2018, and
Congrats.
thank you very much. Yeah, he's 4 years old now.
Hmm.
Best thing that ever happened to me. His name's Eli, and I had to focus on that for a while. I actually was doing plumbing for like those four
Right,
years,
right.
just get
Stack the bread, get the
you know,
money right, the
making
family
sure
right.
that no matter what, his shit was gonna be good.
Right.
And so then since I came back this year, I started putting stuff out again in March. I think that it's exactly like you said. There's more love outside. I think a lot of
Hmm.
people just kind of grew up a bit and they're off doing their own things though, and maybe it's like it seems like it died out,
Right.
but it definitely hasn't to me. It did for a little bit. I was like I would think, but I always knew it was just like no way. It just doesn't even feel right to let it die out. I just knew eventually, like my whole life, that
Right.
I was eventually gonna get to it.
Now, one of the records on Greed Over Grief is POS.
Hmm.
You got to put me on. What does POS stand for?
Yeah, piece of shit.
There
Um,
we go.
I'm not gonna lie. Unfortunately, like there's no drama. We don't have any drama going on.
Right.
Everything's cool, but it's kind of inspired by my baby mom. I'm not gonna lie, because if we're arguing, that's the text I get. POS. So,
Do you feel like, but can you admit maybe at one point in time you were a piece of shit?
um, yeah, for sure. I mean, there's definitely. I can admit my faults. It's
Hmm.
definitely definitely goes both ways, and I have my part in it for sure.
But if
All
we
the
ask
time.
her now, she'll say, he's doing a little better now.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So you're a better piece of shit now.
Yes, absolutely.
So the project is out. It's what, like 5 records you said
Yeah,
on there?
5. Yeah.
And then you dropped a record with somebody from your town, Vic,
Yeah, Viz.
Viz. Shout to Viz.
Yeah, shout out to Black Mag as well. With the whole movement, I have my own label, Road to Rich Records.
Mm.
And with the whole movement, nobody has been more helpful and more there than my homie Black Mag, for real.
Is there other artists signed to the label,
Just Black Mag as of right now.
or just
But
you two right now?
yeah, we got a lot of closely affiliated acts in the area that, hopefully they'll come on board. And definitely, too, shout out to my cousin's movement. He's got his own movement out in Billerica, Mass. They're right outside of Boston as well. Bosma Production. They just opened up a studio out there.
Fire.
Yeah, he's got his shit going. Mighty Meech.
So there's a lot going on. The guys are working.
Hmm.
The team is working. Greed to Grief is out now. Are you already working on the next project? Is that like what's happening?
Oh yeah, we're recording all the time. So I'm working with Kevin Webb. Shout out to him. Shout out to the Takeover and everything. Um, we just did a little podcast the other day called State of the Union Address, and that shit was dope. And yeah, he's working on some things, some deals we're trying to get going. So build some
Things are
relationships.
cooking up.
Yeah, there's a lot in the stash. I mean, like, I said I hadn't put stuff out since 2018 until this year, but I mean, I never stopped making music.
Right.
So hundreds, if not over 1,000 tracks just saved up all the time. Yeah, because I'm recording at the crib, so it's like every day, beats, all types of shit. And so it's like when the time comes for the next project, we sift through that. And
that gotta be a process though, because if you're sitting on 1,000 songs,
oh yeah,
to go through them and pick your top 5 is like.
And the thing about it is, unfortunately, a lot of my favorites, you end up playing them a lot. And
right,
then it's
right,
like, damn, that's a little old to you, but at the same time, I think if I know other people want to enjoy it, toss it on there. But I do have my next single ready to go. I actually recorded the video. Yeah, we did the video on Friday in Manhattan. We had a little production studio. We had the green screen involved and everything.
Oh, dope. What record is this?
This is gonna be called Headies.
So the record's not even out yet.
Nope, it's not out yet, but the video's in the process of getting going. I'd say sometime this month it'll be out.
Maybe for Thanksgiving. We could get it for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, something around that. Headies, so look out for that. That one's produced by my cousin, Mighty Mish.
Oh, dope. Now, before I get you out of here, Saint C, because you said sometimes when you search it, a bunch of, other saints come up. What is Saint C? Is your first initial C?
Yes. My first name's actually Jared, but no, last initial C. Yeah.
Last initial. So that's where it comes from, Saint C.
Yeah. Also, too, where I really thought of it was, because my name was JC before, it was just my initials. So I thought, that sounds too much like Jay-Z. It's kind of too simple. Me and my boy were in like biology class, some science class or some shit, and I had a St. Christopher chain that my mom had bought me.
Got it.
So, we were chilling there. I was like, what about St. C? It kind of just rolls off the tongue nice,
Right.
And, people call me Sizzler, too.
Sizzler?
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
That, honestly, I think it was my homie Tony just came up with it.
Just threw it out there. Yo, Sizzler. Have you ever ate at a Sizzler's?
No. Is that a good spot?
I never been. I do know they exist.
Yeah, never been either.
You might have to do like a video at a Sizzler if they even exist still. I don't even know.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to look it up.
Just like low-key, subliminal message right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's for your homeboy right there that called you Sizzler.
Shout out to him.
More music coming. Tell them your IG, how they can tap in and follow you and all that.
Yeah, the IG is going to be Saint_C_RTR.
You heard him. So lock in. New video, new music coming. DJ Drewski, the new movement. We outside. You know the vibes.
Absolutely.
Let's get it.
Thank you.